How do I feel about beef sets? Unbelievably childish. Unbelievably childish. Yeah, I don't agree with you. Fuck you, man. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna solo you, man. Yo, 1v1, let's go. I'll beat you in the first 10, man. Fuck you. Just like, if grown men do that, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. In kindergarten, I would do something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's for rebards. Personally, I find that to be for fucking rebards. They get a lot of views. That's great. I don't do things for views though. So wouldn't be surprised if you and Moonsalt word yourselves extremely poorly in your videos. You try to be careful with words. That's not the Blackheart I know who goes full fucking spurg on everything. And Moonsalt, yeah, I have no expectations on him. Moonsalt is cool though. He has the most talking points on his streams and he does his research. Are you talking about Moonsalt Slayer now? The only one I've seen who does good analysis with a notepad and has a brain is FeedX. Or are you confusing the two? I mean, Moonsalt to me is just clickbait and how do I get the easiest views? Nova Psyken is pretty smart. No, he's not smart. He wants you to believe he's smart. He's like a fake intellectual. He uses big words. And dumb people are fooled by that. They hear big words and then they think he's smart. He's not smart. He thinks he's smart. He's like a 14-year-old edgelord. I used to watch Roofelmonger. I also watched some of his stuff, very helpful guides, but it gives me a little bit of a basement dweller vibe at times in how he expresses himself.
Hold on. How did Roofelmonger doesn't get in the chat? You know what I'm saying? They talk about, he's like, I like Roofelmonger, but he, you know, helpful guides, but it gives me like a basement dweller vibe.
I mean, there are probably people who feel they have beef with me, but I don't have beef with anyone. First to 10 between you and Nova Psyken. Nova Psyken. Is there even a video of him playing Tekken? I assume he's garbage. I think he's probably really good at like wave dashing, back dashing, but I think he's gonna be garbage at, you know, strategy, anti-character stuff, you know. Me as a person is one thing. I don't care. But him as a player, that's something I can really appreciate. And he's like one of the GOATs. It's about maturity, I think, that you can separate those things and not be petty. It's a bit also like just acknowledging what's real. GM can clown and dunk on me all day long. Does that change the fact that he's arguably the best Lee ever? No, it doesn't. Mike Hollow made a podcast or video and discussion with a guy about a clip from my stream where I say beef sets are childish. That's content. Mike Hollow, here's another clip. Your channel is dog shit. I'm sorry, you seem like a nice guy whenever I see you. I've seen a few videos, but dear Lord, like, I mean, is this the toilet end of a line? Like, no effort, shit, no value, no nothing content? Like, what is that? But I mean, go ahead, keep doing it, I guess. But my God, that's a debate. Jesus Christ.
But, you know, isn't it, he's taking shots at Mike, but I read some of the comments where they were like, Main Man made a video towards LTG. So people are like, wait, how come when you do stuff like that, all of a sudden it's like acceptable content, but if anybody makes a video out of you, now it's bottom of the barrel and it's trash and you're so much better. Like, can we move on past that?
Come on, get ready.
Time to erase
Fatality. Shang Tsung wins.
Yo, what's up guys, it's Dragon@2427 here, and I'm assuming you guys have probably already seen that opening clip somewhere, either by MainMan's YouTube channel himself or another YouTube channel. And for those of you guys who, I'm assuming most of you guys are aware of the situation of what's going around with MainManSWE, but For those of you guys who don't understand what basically happened in that one clip I showed at the beginning, basically I'm assuming that MainManSWE, he's either drama farming or he basically had a crash out, like a mental breakdown, because that's what it seemed like to me at the beginning. But what ended up happening was that he had a certain opinion about beef sets, where he thinks that beef sets are childish and everybody that does them are clowns and dumb. That's what basically he said. And MainManSWE is on the minority on this. Most people do not agree with that. Beef sets have always been a part of the FGC since the arcade days, when people would go head to head back in the arcades, and then that sort of evolved into the online forums and then to the online lobby system that we now have today. But yeah, for the most part, people are basically not agreeing with him on that, and that's not really why I'm making this video, because to be fair, honestly, I don't really care too much about what he thinks, because that's just an opinion. He is entitled to that opinion. The only reason I'm making this video is because of everything that happened after that. So what basically happened after was that a couple of people basically said that, no, you're wrong, beef sets are cool, or they've always been a part of the community and they've always been a part of fighting game culture. And that basically kind of tipped off the main man. He did not like that, and he basically just went on like I want to say like a call out spree, just calling out every content creator he could think of. He called out, let me think of, he called Moonsault Slayer out, he called out D, he called out Noah Black, he called out, what's his name, Joe Budden, he called out Mike Hollow, he called out Mike ATO, he called out Nee, he called out Nova, he even called out Rooflemonger, and I think that about covers it. Yeah, he called out a bunch of people, and he basically I think he had like a crash out, man, to be honest, man. I think he had a crash out, because he went like on a slander spree pretty much. I think he has beef with these people. He doesn't really like them, and he just basically went out of his way to just kind of talk trash to them on stream and on Twitter. And on its own, like I said, this is the only reason I'm really making this video, because everybody else is talking about what all of the stuff he's saying, and there's still a lot of people that support MainManSWE. I was arguing with a lot of people, like his supporters, in the comment section last night, and they don't understand what the situation is. They think that people are dogpiling Main Man because of his opinion on beef sets. Nobody cares about that. Nobody's attacking him because of beef sets. The reason people are coming at him is because of all the attacks that he put out against the other content creators, which, and on his own view, right? He says that all of that stuff that people are doing are childish, right? Well, what he's doing is even more childish, I would argue, because it basically looks like he's throwing a tantrum at this point. He's doubling down. He's just talking trash for no reason. He's taking it out of the game. He's just issuing personal attacks. And like I said, most of this could have been avoided if he had just made that comment about beef sets. If he had just said, okay, I don't like beef sets, I think they're childish, okay, whatever, he could have just moved on right along and nobody would have said anything. But he basically felt the need to just go on a rampage, really, and his chat is honestly the most horrible chat that I have seen. Just constantly just encouraging his behavior and just feeding him negative vibes, basically. And what he said about Moonsault Slayer, right? So I don't really like Moonsault Slayer's content. I think it's kind of clickbaity, I guess you could say. I don't really like it. Moonsault kind of talks a lot, but doesn't really say anything in his videos, if you get what I mean. And I don't really like watching him too much. But do I hate Moonsault? No, I do not. I've actually talked with him a couple times. I think he's a pretty chill dude, but I just don't vibe with his content. Now, the stuff he said about Moonsault Slayer, though, he sat there saying that Moonsault doesn't put any efforts in his videos. He doesn't know how to make videos. And then what honestly just kind of baffled me was when he said that Moonsault likes to pull the black race card a lot, which honestly just came out of left field, because I have never seen someone like Moonsault do something like that. And that's a pretty wild accusation to make. And then he moved on to Noah Black, and listen, Noah Black made a discussion about this the other day, I think like almost a week ago at this point, whenever they were debating the whole beef set debacle. Noah Black, I agree with a lot of the stuff he says, right? I'll back him up on this. Noah Black had the right idea of beef sets, but what I do not agree with Noah Black on was the threat he made about how he was going to punch Main Man in the face for his opinion if he heard him say that in public. That in my opinion was uncalled for, and pretty sure Noah also, he said that Noah was in the heat of the moment when he said that, so he wasn't thinking that one through. And he since then apologized, I'm pretty sure. But he basically said, yeah, I get heated a lot. Sorry about that, but yeah, I don't agree with the stuff he said there. But I do agree with his opinion about the beef sets. and him just saying that Noah Black is a terrible person and no one should ever listen to what he says. It's pretty wild. And then let's see, what else did he say? Oh yeah, he brought up Mike ATO for some reason. I don't know why he needed to bring that up. Mike ATO isn't even involved in this situation. He's just kind of doing his own thing. And yeah, you're gonna see a trend of this going on. He just kind of brings up random people that have nothing to do with the situation. A lot of the people that he brought up were probably like just doing their own thing. Like, what the hell? What did I get? What did I even do? Yeah, but he brought up Mike ATO, and the Mike ATO, I can't remember what he called him, but then he said that he's a horrible person. He said the same thing about Rooflemonger, and like, look, Rooflemonger isn't a nice dude, especially after all the stuff that Clayton has said about him. Where, if you guys don't know, a couple years ago, I think at this point, Clayton was in the hospital with cancer, and Rooflemonger told a bunch of his boys to go slander Clayton, saying that he was faking his cancer, and then while all that was going on, Rooflemonger was stealing Clayton's content. So I know those two have beef, and Rooflemonger's not a good dude for sure. But that's kind of weird that he brought him up now out of all times when he could have done so like literally any time before this. Then he brought up Mike Hollow, and then he said that Mike Hollow makes bottom of the barrel content, and that all of his fans are brain dead and have they have no brain cells, and that his podcast is the worst podcast out there. Which is actually pretty funny because I think out of all the content creators, I think there's a couple up there for sure in the FGC, but Mike Hollow is one of the few that I've seen that's actually trying to like build a community, try to bring people together. I've been on his podcast a few times, and I've honestly never felt like what's it called, that I was being gate kept or anything like that. If you had something to say on his podcast, like he would let you speak your mind pretty much, as long as you weren't dropping like slurs or anything like that. But he would always just like let me speak my mind, say what I wanted to say, and then he would give everybody an equal opportunity. So to him say that Mike Hollow was gatekeeping and just tearing apart the community is pretty disingenuous to say. And let's see, what else did he say? Oh, he brought Nova up as well. I can't remember. I think he has beef with Nova. Him and Nova got into an argument a couple months ago, and I guess he still hates Nova for that. So he brought up Nova, saying that he's a terrible person and that he's a liar. And then he brought up Nee because, of course, he needed to bring up Nee. And for those of you guys who don't know, Nee and the main man have some serious beef where basically back in Tekken 7, I believe that Nee said that 2D guest characters do not belong in 3D Tekken, right? And Main Man said that, so what, you don't want guest characters in Tekken anymore? Is that what you want? And they basically got into an argument over that. And it basically ended up in a beef set, believe it or not. Even though Main Man says beef sets are childish, they did a beef set, I think on Jay's stream, King Jay. And Nee beat Main Man with Main Man's own character, which was Kazuya. And I feel like that was honestly the start of the end for Main Man, because it feels like ever since then, he's just been always like overly negative and spiteful of the situation and anything that came after that. But that's where the beef came between those two. He also called out D, saying that D is overly toxic and basically doesn't belong in Tekken. And then the last person that I can remember that he called out was, let me see. Oh, it was Joe Budden, saying that Joe Budden is an instigator in all the fights, and that basically he should take down all of his beef set videos and live streams, and that if he was a true Tekken fan, then he would only do videos on the game itself and not anything around it. Which, to be fair, Joe Budden is kind of an instigator, but like he's more of a troll, really. So he just does it for the content. So he doesn't take anything out of the game or anything like that. He basically makes videos and just tries to hype up the stream, you know. And both players are in on it. So nobody's out here like having bad blood between the two. When they try to get two people to like fight each other on the stream, they just try to play it off each other and just try to like make it entertaining. And then when everything's all said and done, they're all cool, you know. Nobody's really like hating each other. And then I think that's about it on all the people he called out. But yeah, so he called out all those people. All of those people basically clapped back at him, and now he's making videos saying that, oh, the Tekken community is terrible. They're attacking me. I'm getting dogpiled. They hate me because I have an opinion, and that's pretty crazy behavior to say, especially considering the fact that you sat there making videos on LTG for what, like a week, or no, sorry, not a week, a month. You sat there making tons and tons of videos on LTG saying that other people were making bottom of the barrel content and that people were only in it for the views, and that he wasn't in it for the views, and yet he made the same types of videos for a month. And right now I think he's making like another tier list video. I think he's made like 4 tier list videos now, so this is like his 4th one. And yet he doesn't like make bottom of the barrel content, which I find pretty funny. So the whole thing is basically the way I see Main Man is he's the perfect example of rules for me, but not for thee, or basically do as I say, not as I do. His whole stance has basically been like, hey, come hang out at my stream, stop having fun over there. All of those other people don't really matter. And the whole thing with King J, I don't know why he even needed to bring up King J, especially considering I thought that they were cool because King J posted a video on his channel where they were like meeting up at some place. I don't know what it was. I kind of saw a little bit of it, and I thought they looked cool there, but I guess not. I don't know why he needed to bring him up. So it's just kind of whack. I think he's either having like a mental breakdown or he's just fabricating everything just to generate views because for a while now he has been losing a bunch of subscribers after the whole like Tekken 8 situation whenever the game came out and he was basically saying a bunch of dumb stuff about Season 1 and how everybody was wrong. A lot of people didn't like that and he's just kind of been on the decline ever since. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. If I was Main Man, I would have I just go off the internet, go off the radar for a while because the more he keeps stalking, the more of a fool he keeps making himself. And at this point, he's making himself look like a clown, really. And he is just one click away from being the next LTG or basically being a locale at this point because his chat is basically the type of people you would find at a locale, like Wings or what's his name, Boogie. That's the type of people his chat are. We're just like constantly encouraging his bad behavior and just kind of like he's just feeding off of their bad energy basically, and it's just making it worse. So that's what I would do. But yeah, I'm not gonna go any more in depth for this. I think I've said my piece here, and I know a lot of other people have said that they're gonna make videos responding to him. A couple people already have made statements against him, and Main Man has basically just doubled down. Essentially, he's not backing down. He keeps talking trash, so he's basically going the path of self-destruct at this point. If that's the path he wants to go down, then by all means he can go that path. But he's in the minority. Like he's got his own little bubble that he likes to stay in. And as other people have said, his pillow fort. He doesn't like to leave that bubble. He doesn't like to interact with other people that he doesn't think will agree with him. So he just kind of sits in that little corner of his community. And yeah, I think that's what is going to happen. He's either going to go quiet and then try to come back later, or he's just going to keep talking himself into a corner where he's going to lose more and more subs. He's going to make himself look even worse. And when everybody else just comes back from whatever they're doing because they're all making videos on him, he's going to look really, really bad because I don't think he's got a defense. Because at this point, like, if you're talking trash about people, like, not in the game, right, but out of the game, you're bringing up personal stuff. You better have enough stuff to back it up because those are some pretty wild accusations, you know? And you better be able to handle those criticisms yourself. Like, you better be able to, like, take the clap back, I guess you could say, right? But, yeah, but Main Man's like, oh, you guys are attacking me. I don't know why you guys are attacking me for having an opinion. Yeah, that's all. He's just gaslighting his community, gaslighting everybody in the community. He's just saying that people like Fenty and Blackheart aren't like they're just hanging out with the wrong crowd, yada yada, like stuff like that. It's just really dumb, man. But yeah, I don't got anything else to say about this. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and as usual, leave a like and subscribe. And this has been Dragon Eye. Peace.